This is the Nifty Alpha, and today we're discussing what we believe to be potentially the next 100x project, as well as a couple others that have significant upside. This is the Nifty Alpha, and in this show we discuss trading NFTs. I'm here with a couple of co-hosts here, and we're gonna dive right in. So, what are we discussing today, PO?
The projects that we're going to discuss today are Hape Beast and Doodles NFT. So we can dive. I guess before we dive into Hape Beast, sophisticated art speculator, is there a reason why you're crouched in that position?
Because I'm doing so damn good right now. Feeling so damn good right now. NFTs are back. I'm hitting home runs. My 3 for 3 on my high conviction plays. Life's good. Life's good.
I like it.
Buy what you believe in.
Buy what you believe in. There we go. Some wise words of wisdom from sophisticated art speculator who's known for flipping low conviction projects. But yeah, let's do this. Let's jump into the first project.
So this is Hape Beast. This is an ape derivative project. For people that don't know, when you buy Bored Apes, the sort of precedent-setting trait of the Bored Ape project, the feature of the Bored Ape Yacht Club project, was that you actually own the intellectual property of your ape. So we've seen this manifest itself in a few different ways. The Jenkins the Valet project, when Jenkins the ape was purchased, it was an unnamed ape. The buyer decided that the ape looked like a valet. They ended up naming it Jenkins the Valet, and they started writing a story that corresponds with this character of Jenkins. We're now seeing maybe the most hyped up version of one of those derivative projects with Hape Beast here. And it's incredibly cool art, in my opinion. It looks like it's really, really well done. The founders of the project own the underlying ape assets. Of course, that's an absolute must have. And we've seen one sale so far of what they're calling the Genesis piece, and it was bought for 9 ETH. So that's all we have so far is a 9 ETH sale. I'll quickly show that tweet. It was just reported here in the past.
Did they sell it on OpenSea? Yeah. Was it auction?
Yeah. I'm not. So that's a good question. It looks like it was purchased. I'll get back to you on that. But
I wouldn't have bought that one for 9 ETH, but I would have bought the one that you previewed at the beginning with like the sick white hoodie, like the white on white. Like that looks sick.
It's crazy,
with
man.
The white eyes.
What thoughts do you guys have on this?
I'd be interested just to know like what is it going to be? Is it going to be like a mint, like where they're minting a couple of thousand? Like what a little bit of like what the roadmap is. Is this like just a cool 3D avatar, kind of like Fluff World or whatever with the bunnies? You know what I mean? That project's doing really well. Yeah, you got Alpha, Nick.
Well, so a couple of things. One, I think they may have reported the number that are available. I think it's 8888 is the, but I may just be making that up because it's an assumption now for all these projects. 8,000. That's how many it is. They're not saying anything more than that right now, but the production quality of this. So if you check out the hapebeast.com website,
like what that's sick right
I mean,
there.
It's insane. It's insane. And
this is one of those things like you sit around and you buy a bunch of garbage waiting for a project like this.
Yeah.
This is high mother effing quality. Is there whitelist privilege though?
There may be, but here's the deal. So real quick, Nick, if you get in the Discord, the nifty.com/Discord,
okay,
I am working on creating a partnership with this team. I've already reached out. I've been chatting with the artist. I'm hoping that we can offer, we've done this once before. And by the way, that floor has mooned, the one that we gave access to. That was the billionaire ape, whatever the heck it is. And
thanks for getting me on that one.
Party 8 billionaires.
Party 8 billionaires. I did not participate, Nick. I gave it to the community because here's the deal. If you get in that Discord, I'm working on not charging these projects anything for a promotion, by the way. They are literally, my goal is to get you all on those whitelists. So join.
This project is disgustingly good in terms of the production of the website, the assets. Like, I haven't seen something that has gotten me this excited in a long time. So like, if I can mint these, daddy going broke. Daddy going broke on the hate beast, baby. You know, I ain't coming back from that one. I'm gonna be an alcoholic at the bar telling them about these fucking monkeys that I bought on the internet. You know,
So something that a commenter mentioned, Melter Mike, which is not actually true. He said you don't own the IP. That's wrong, Melter Mike. You do fully own the IP of your apes, and you can make any derivative that you want. This is the most advanced derivative project that I've seen to date. The distinction is there's some rules, and the rule is you can't use the base C logo. And you can't use their branding on your content. Now, I did see
but
it
you get a
tattooed.
derivative of the derivative. It's essentially kind of like what happened in the Great Financial Collapse. It's like a synthetic. It's a
CDO.
synthetic IP. It's a CDO. I like this. I'm in because you made a lot of money if you were trading them CDOs, baby.
Yeah,
Give me. I mean, I'm telling you what. This is apps. I'm thrown. When I heard Hate Beast, didn't know what to think. Looking at this, I couldn't be more enthusiastic. I couldn't be more excited. I couldn't be more energetic. I couldn't be more willing to take my hard-earned ETH and plow it through the tight little hole that is Hate Beast as fast as I can, as hard as I can.
Yes, and that brings us to our sponsor. Just kidding. So, in terms of this project, dude, I just love. I've seen
the Genesis pieces are all ugly compared to the website, though.
That's my concern. So this is my one concern about it is the pieces themselves. So you want to load one of these, Pia?
Yep.
And let me. I'm not saying ugly. There's way uglier stuff out there. I'm just saying it's not nearly as thrilling as the website. Like I want the hoodie. I want the white on white. I want like the black mask 8. You know what I mean? I don't want Farmer McDonald here.
Well, this one is like a. But here's the deal.
I'm assuming maybe these are matched perfectly to the apes that they actually own. Maybe because these look like ape traits. No.
Yeah, some of them do look like ape traits. It'll be interesting to see how far they push the limits of the derivative. You got the crazy eyes. You got the the cowboy hat, the blue stuff. I think what's interesting though is like how far they push this. Here's my thesis on this. It's like cryptodes. People wanted to get in that, and now we're looking at creature toads hitting near 0.4 floor. Those were 0.07 to mint. And so, or 0.08, something like that. And so you're up, I'm up 5x on that mint. And I see those sorts of things. I see this as another one of those where this could be a team that's genuinely committed to growing something like Creature Toads was. Frankly, I prefer the art on Creature Toads, to be completely honest. I've seen some of these 3D apes, and it's just hard to get it right. I've seen ones that are great, but by and large, it's really difficult to get it right. So I don't know how I feel as a whole about this project, but those promotional trailers get you fired up, right? Those get you fired up. It's a great landing page. I almost feel like they shouldn't have revealed these apes if this is what they look like, because there's some work to be done. This ape's got a dad bod, a little bit of yeah, and where, and my other question is, what's the style? If it's really a hate beast, I want hype beast style clothing. I don't want the existing ape clothing, which is what this is. Now, what my guess is these could be derivatives of the founders that they owned, and they created derivatives as the Genesis piece to like initialize this project. And then separately, what you're going to get is some of references to hype beast culture with the individual pieces.
That would make sense because we're seeing these quote unquote Genesis pieces, but then on the website, you see those super fly ones like that white one. Everyone's going to want that. It's got face tats. It's got the white on white parka. Like that's no joke. So I think that might be the play. Either way, I think that this is really going to be popular. I might be wrong, but my guy, Lucky Ones from the Orange DAO, one of my best homies in the NFT space, he has been flexing an ape a derivative of his ape that looks just like this. And I wonder if that was like low key. I'm gonna have to ask him about this, like Hape Beast under the radar. If so, then I'm sure that's gonna be worth a lot of money, and I'm sure that you know, lucky ones will have a big bag off of it, which he deserves. So El Samurai said those were made way before for Bored Ape Yacht Club owners who wanted them. So that's probably what
And,
he's responding to me with.
and as someone on Twitter said, the McDonald's hat was that's not a actual
In Bored Apes, yeah.
Yeah, that's not in Bored Apes.
Yeah, and that's illegal. You can't use McDonald's logo on there. So I will personally be suing this project on McDonald's behalf. Just kidding. But the reason why I am so excited and at the manic side of my manic depressive cycle is because, not to derail, but Botto is now $1.65. And if you all listen to me when I told you to buy the absolute crap out of this at 0.7 to 0.8, you're having a good Saturday. Like I'm having a good Saturday. Okay. So you know what? When I'm like, hey, I'm minting this stupid ass what, don't listen to me. But when I do a fucking deep dive on a project and I say, get your little butt into this project, I'm doing it for you. Okay. I'm not trying to get rich and be by myself. Okay. I'm trying to get rich and be by myself, but connected to you all digitally.
Yes.
Botto, baby.
Yeah. Wow. So yeah, Botto's on a hell of a rally right now. That's great. I can't wait for it to hit, you know, $5 on that. A made up number that I just made, but I'm staking. I'm LPing on there and staking. So hopefully that 500% yield becomes more like 5,000% yield. That's what we're looking for on this sort of situation here. So let's, do you want to move on from this one in terms of just to recap? This is the one that we definitely would like to be participating in. And I think that there's a lot of opportunity on that front. And if we end up getting a partnership with them, which I'm surely hoping that we can, I'm trying to work with some of the projects that have seriously high potential and help work with them to deliver value to our community. Those are not for paid promotions. That's just to hook you all up. So if you hop in the Discord, the nifty.com/Discord, I can't guarantee you that we're going to actually do this giveaway, but if we do, you will be first to know about it if you're in that Discord. So definitely join it. Also, if you enjoy our content, remember to smash that subscribe and hit that like button. I mean, forgot about that for a second. My bad. So yeah. So let's move on to the next one, which I DM'd. This was a classic Nick DM to Nick and Pio last night. Nick didn't respond to it, but I'm saying this is potentially the next Creature Toads here. And I'm still calling it that at this point in time.
Creature World or Creature Toads? Or
sorry,
Cryptodes?
Sorry, Cryptodes. My apologies. This is the next Cryptodes as far as I'm concerned. I will not be surprised to see this go to 10, 15 ETH during a bull cycle. I don't know where we're at right now in this cycle. We're going to dive into that in a minute, but I wanted to buy this last night at 1.15 and I didn't. And I'm really regretting that. This would have been another.
I papered it at 0.8. Ask me anything.
Really? You paper handed?
Yeah.
How many?
Oh, no.
Okay. Well, at least did you at least notch a gain?
No, I lost some money.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
But I don't give a fuck because Botto doubled.
So time out. Can we give some context on this? Who are the creators of this project? What is the sort of the genesis of this project?
So the biggest player in this is Poopy Cat, and we got a couple of other individuals in this.
Burnt Toast.
They are Burnt Toast and Evan Keast, I think, or Keenst. That one is basically they came from the CryptoKitties. They helped create and work on the CryptoKitties team. And so they ended up creating this project, and they haven't revealed a lot of information about the roadmap. They just put something out last night. If you want to load that up on Twitter, you can share that. But basically, they posted this video showing some roadmap stuff, implying things that are coming down the road. But they also put 420 ETH into a treasury. And so you can imagine that's going to be spent in interesting ways. And so yeah, it'll be interesting. What just you had it there?
That was the tweet
Yeah, you were
right here.
Oh
This
no,
video?
not the pinned one. Scroll down a little bit. My bad. I thought that was. Whatever.
This
There you
one.
go.
This
That
one.
one. Yeah, roadmap. So basically, yeah, they wrote down, hey, we got this treasury. I don't know this buying back the mascot for 100 ETH. That's crazy. That seems like a lot of money to spend. And now they have it to do 100 ETH. I'm like, that's like a big bet on the space. Like, holy cow! But I guess it's just showing their conviction in these NFTs, and it's a big move from that standpoint. But spending $410,000 to do that. Most early stage startups, you wouldn't recommend to spend 410 grand on a logo. That's just saying, just putting that out there. So outside of that, I'm really optimistic about this. We don't need to see the whole thing a bunch of times, but I think, yeah, I mean, this looks, the roadmap looks promising, and I'm willing to call this the next Cryptodes, and I'm willing to say that this is going to. I'm confident of this having a floor of around 2.5 during the bull run is where I could see this getting to. Maybe it comes back down to here around 1.5 when we go up. But I genuinely see these as the potential to go to like a 10, 15, something like that. I don't hate the art. I don't love the art. That's my only issue with this thing. It feels corny. I prefer the Cool Cats over this. If you go and check out the Cool Cat arts, I don't know what you all think about it.
Am I right in understanding that it's like there's a DAO behind this as well, and
420 ETH treasury. They're not calling it. I don't know if they're calling it a DAO. They're calling it
legality purposes.
Yeah, they're calling
treasury
it
sounds better.
Community treasury.
Fun thing: if you rename what you're doing to a different name, it is no longer illegal.
Yeah,
and you're totally fine. We have lawyers on our team that have confirmed that this is completely a joke. Do not listen to what I just said. In terms of the art, I kind of like it. It fits perfectly in like a Barnes and Noble children's section. So I think
there we go.
that's the thesis, man. Don't get away from the thesis. If you think you could see it in the children's book section of Barnes and Noble, you got to ape, especially if there's a good team behind it.
My only concern is like, does Bored Ape fall into the children's book? Yeah, I'm looking at it.
No, they're definitely young adult, if not adult.
They're really solid though.
Like the eyeballs coming out, like you can't have that in the children's section. Kids are gonna freak out.
I'm looking at one of mine on the wall. I don't know if it'll show this. There we go, baby. Got my ape right here.
It's looking real good right now.
Oh wow!
And
look at that.
And yeah, that's one of my apes. But but yeah, I think it just looks good. I like looking at it every day and saying, "That's right, baby. That's right." All you need is to make a couple good calls. All you need to do is make a couple good calls, and that's what this show is all about: is helping you find some of those 100Xs. Frankly, to including, the bait beast. To me, though, it's one that I think to just quickly recircle or come back to that is that that one's harder. This is original. This one I look at and I say, yeah, this could go to 15 ETH. It's original art with a team that's experienced which is going to develop a roadmap. How does Hape Beast, how does a derivative project go down that same path to the same degree? Like, we haven't seen any derivatives reach, stratospheric values yet. And so that's my only concern about it. Like, how high did your Wicked Ape Bone Club go, Pio, before you
in the peak of the bull run, the Wicked Ape got up almost almost 1 ETH. Yeah, 0.8.
Yeah, but that's not the same as Hape Beast. I think Hape Beast is way higher effort than that. And I don't think, and it's totally different because Wicked Ape Bone Club was basically like it was really copyright infringement. And at first they didn't have the blue check on OpenSea. That didn't come until Bored Ape Yacht Club effectively went on record, said they totally ripped off our art. This was right after there were several DMCAs. I think it might have been after Matt Fury's DMCA of Sad Frogs Club. It was after the DMCA on Crypto Baby Punks. And I think Bored Ape Yacht Club just wanted to be a little bit cooler and not worry about the success of Wicked Ape Bone Club and stir things up with the DMCA.
Yeah, it's also tough
I,
to DMCA that because it wasn't like a straight carbon copy clone. Like if it's a carbon copy clone or you just like flip it or you change like one small thing, it's way easier to DMCA. Like they were unique enough that I think it would have been a challenge for them to do it anyways. But personally, I would go out and say that this Hape Beast is the best derivative project launched in the history of NFTs and is a mile ahead of the competition. I would say that just based on my initial.
Yeah, if they bring out the white hoodie thing and the art that we saw on the website, then I think that that's totally fair. And the fact that this is a derivative based on the IP of Bored Apes, which I like. I bought Bored Ape Comic. I bought Jenkins the Valet. Jenkins the Valet was a 10xer, maybe not present value, but the top was a 10x. I bought at 0.03 and it got up to 0.3. I think it's somewhere around 0.2 right now. That's a long-term hold. I wish I had slept the floor at 0.03. Nick, you have a few of those, right?
Of which one?
Of Jenkins the Valet.
I'm just thinking you should pin Michael's comment here. In terms of Jenkins the Valet, I think I only own one, but yeah, like I did an interview. I got to publish my interview with him actually, with Jenkins, and yeah, I am bullish on that project. In general, that one's a harder one for me to like. Some of these projects, which are artist-driven projects, which it's not about, they're all working to like deliver value to their original people, but I think it's been hard to see some of those projects moon. And right now, it also depends on when you ended up releasing. A lot of people, all the new people that are entering that want to get involved in NFTs and make 100x on their money, they're looking to like get into something new right now that they can own, and versus like buy a bunch of the old stuff, or their goal is to work their way up to some of the old stuff. So what would we be looking for here? Mutant apes are like a great level to level up to, I think, is one of the ones that I would consider. And a few other items as well. What do you learn
So
about here?
This is minting right now. People are talking about it in our Discord. It's called Women in Weapons. I'm attracted to it because the female fully doxed team, it seems. I don't know anything more about it, and I don't know who any of these people are, but just the fact that they are doxed is attractive to me. And the female project thing, obviously. So it looks like it's launching on Drop Space. I'm not familiar with this web platform. Has anybody ever used Drop Space before?
Yes.
Okay. Do we know anything about this?
Yeah, I'm building something like it.
No, I mean the Women in Weapons.
So I don't know anything. I literally know nothing about Women in Weapons. They've been
very interesting combination. Women in Weapons. I'm not. Are the women down for that? I'll kind of default to the women if that's something that like gets them excited. Like me personally, I mean, I'm fine with it. I would like a little. The art looks a lot like World of Women or some other woman art. I'd like to see a little bit more like stylistic approaches.
Yeah, I don't like the art on this one personally. I mean, not to reject the artist. I think that it looks nice. It's not my style. But that said, a lot of female projects do well.
Correct.
But the ones that have done well have been ones that have communities built around them. So that's the metric that I'm looking for here, is what is the community. To be fair, for those who are listening, we have missed out on a number of projects that we've covered on this show. That's simply the nature of the NFT space. But
well, the mint is bullish because I'm pretty sure it was at 950, just refreshed it and it went up 200. So I think it's something to keep an eye on. We are in a little bit of a rebound here on the in the NFT space. So could potentially be a decent mint flip. I do like the price at 0.05. Pretty easy for that to get up to 0.15, 0.2 for a nice little 3-4 bagger. If you're super bullish on the project, you probably want to get in when gas is cheap before it gets past 5,000. I'm not sure if I would go in on this project, but I'm feeling really good today. So maybe I'll take a little flyer.
Gas is at 73 Gwei, so very
Nice and cheap.
attractive. Yeah, very cheap gas right now for a project that's minting here. It looks like it's steadily going up. Maybe FOMO kicks in when we get to maybe 5,500 or something. Looks like Money Printer Go Burr has some feedback on the Hape Beast project. He said, from the Hape Discord, the current work on OpenSea is part of Hape Beast legacy, not part of this collection. Think of them as early sketches carved into the wall of our cave. They don't have traits and won't fit as they are currently with our future plans. But if you have one or acquire one, you're part of our family and we'll look after you. So it's basically like I think it'll go down as like a Genesis part of the project, but the actual project is totally different. And maybe the actual project looks much more like what we're seeing on the website. I think that would make sense.
So apparently Gary Vaynerchuk is in their Discord with these women.
Hape Beast or the women?
The women. That's according to Teresa, and I also saw someone else further down, Adam Cambeats. I don't know how you say your last name, Adam. He
Gary
said,
V is not as he's not as bullish of an indicator as he once was. It used to mean that you had an immediate sellout. It used to mean that everything blows up.
Here's the deal, though. My biggest issue is we're all not real bullish on this, which to me may actually be a bullish signal. We need to go back and do an analysis of this to actually get data to find if we all dislike this and are hesitant, if it's a good call.
Whoa. I didn't say I dislike this in the aggregate. I said I would like to see a little bit more innovation in the women projects on the art style and just get a little bit more. Oh, wow, it's up to 1.6. I'm probably going to buy some. What's the link?
It's up to 1.
What's the link?
You mean? The link, I'll post it. I'll post it in our chat, or I'll post it in our private.
Just go to dropspace.art and it's on the homepage.
Nope. I'm going to click the link.
So, I mean, look, minting right now has been risky. It's been a risky game. This is also not updating, which is kind of annoying me. I don't know if that's a drop space thing. It is, but it isn't, man. It's like taking so long.
It updates on each block. It's on each ETH block that data updates. You got to understand the Ethereum network. Basically, what ends up happening is they don't mint one at a time. You mint based on block. So once the block deploys, it'll update. I don't know if drop space is real-time updating though. But yeah, it does appear frozen. No, now it's 1714. So yeah, they don't have the webhook set up. But essentially, the way that this system is working is working pretty well. So I don't know. I don't know what I just said made absolutely no sense. The way that this system is working pretty well. That doesn't even make sense. I don't want to ramble on this one. Either get in it or don't. Let's talk about the macro aspect of things.
Sounds good. Nifty.com.
Yeah. So this is the conversation we were having because the 100x projects, you got to think about the context of the market. And right now I'm looking at this saying this is a bearish bull movement. The only distinction, and I'll send you the link to this tweet and why this is relevant, which is what Nate Rivers is saying. And Nate Rivers, so I posted the link there in our chat that you can load up here. But basically the deal is, and why I picked Nate. Nate is oftentimes one of the largest buyers or sellers in my system on any given day. And he's saying his take is, I don't think this is a relief bounce. And that we're about to return to up only and NFTs are going to drop. If you believe that theory, which is the biggest, where did Nick go?
I don't know where he went. Okay. He's probably minting.
Maybe he'll be back.
He's back.
If you're super bullish on NFTs, then you don't want to get caught having sold out your NFTs and be sitting there with an ETH bag, which let's not call it an ETH bag because ETH could double, triple, who knows.
I wouldn't mind holding an ETH bag. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind holding a big old bag of ETH.
So, so if you look at, he seems to be wildly bullish. And the only indicator that I have right now, which is pushing me in that direction is this run up of the Bored Ape floor back to 35. CryptoPunks, though, have dropped down to 90. So 90 times, we're at 4,100. The cost is 369,000. You're muted, Nick.
Sorry, I muted Nick. So go
Part
ahead.
of the that's my bad. Part of the Bored Ape Yacht Club running up was that there was like a tweet from someone in the NBA space that had an ape as their profile pic, and it was like all over ESPN. They like actually like had the tweet on ESPN, and like it had the ape. Some people were postulating that that drove some sales.
Here's a wild thesis. I've been seeing so much movement on the Bored Ape side of things and people interested in collecting Bored Apes in the technology space, the Silicon Valley space. A lot of people are more interested in buying Bored Apes right now. Unsurprising, because they were a third of the cost of a CryptoPunk, and all of these have massive upside. It would not be surprising to see CryptoPunks at $1 million floor, and I could see Bored Apes at a $500,000 floor. That's been my target all along, is to sell one of these maybe for $500,000. Now, let's be clear. When it gets to $500,000, I'm going to want it to go to $1 million. And that's what's going to end up happening. But like, I believe partially with what Nate's saying, but can you, Steph Curry tweeted about Bored Apes. Can you, PETA?
He's been holding a Bored Ape.
Yeah, he's already had
he's
one.
been, yeah.
Can
I pull up what?
Yeah, Pio, if you pull that up, the Nifty, the Nifty.com, the chart there, I think what's interesting is technically when I'm looking at this index, I'm not looking at this saying we're now moving to the next level unless ETH stays at in the 4,000 ranges, in the 4,000, 4,300 range for, let's call it 38 to 43. If we're ranging in that zone, that's a wide zone, but I think it's a good one to give. Then I'm saying, all right, we could get a little bit bullish uptrend and NFTs get a chance to catch back up to ETH to a certain degree, because and the best ones are going to do that. And what's insane, what has just been absolutely insane is the one that we discussed after Bape Doodles. To see that appreciate in the face of appreciating ETH is the most bullish indicator that you can have on a lot of these projects, basically. And if you see any of the projects mooning from that standpoint right now at this point of above 1 ETH and beyond, let's say over 2 ETH, then I'm saying, okay, these are great ones to hold at that point. And when you're talking about major returns, like holy shit, like this getting the combo of ETH mooning and these NFTs ranging back up. I mean, that I think it's just a huge opportunity.
I mean, my personal, like, to talk about my bags, I guess you could say, is that I've been waking up and today specifically to a lot of offers on peaceful groupies and dead fellas. It does seem like anything that has like a sort of bit of cultural relevance, which in my collection, and my Mutant Ape also. So I'm just waking up to offers on Mutant Ape, peaceful groupies, dead fellas. Not so much on Pax Lost Poets, not so much on, the Pixel Vault stuff, but those 3 projects, and you're seeing them go up. The floors are creeping up. Dead fellas and peaceful groupies are at 0.8 floor today.
Lost Poets, you're not going to get notifications on because it's one collection of a bunch of them.
Right,
so you won't get notifications. But look, I'm looking at ETH right now. This is just, can I share for 2 seconds?
Of course.
So
By the way, while you talk about what you see, Gillies, who is a full-time trader, shout out to Gillies, who is on our Twitter Spaces quite a bit and in our Discord. He said that he could see a situation where we see ETH go back down to 3,500 before a face melting rip.
Yeah, I'm looking at it down. I'm looking for 37. I want this line to stay consistent, but we got this nice wedge. Is what I'm looking at. This was the previous high. So I went back to, if you went back to the previous high, we hit 43.83. This is approximately right where this peaked. So it's testing that resistance again. I see this coming down. I'm looking at this movement up. Ignore this shit. I'm sometimes just creating a bunch of stuff over here. Ignore the horizontals. That's when I'm like real zoomed in and doing some short-term stuff. But the bottom line is, I don't know. What was his price target?
35, and then a bounce back up.
Yeah, I've been thinking the same thing, because one of the things that we're dealing with
I don't
on
want 35.
Bitcoin and Ethereum is that we're dealing with having to push through all-time highs, and there's a lot of resistance there. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have like a gradual pullback to 3,500, almost like a spring kind of coiling, and then that's when it like face melts up, like right up to 6K or something like that. Could be wrong though. I like this, whatever this chart is right here, like that those two lines. I see that scenario where it pings off 3,500 and it kind of coils up, and then when it gets to all-time high next time, it just
I'd be looking
rockets.
for this. I don't want this one to get pierced, because then we end up in this like no man's land. We were kind of sitting here for a bit where this like was just ranging. That it dropped down, and I'm like, oh shit, is this ready for a bear? But no, we pop back up. I'd love to see this one. I'd love to see this wedge and us then go up to what, like 50, what's about 31 to, I'd like to see 50. Yeah, 55, 5,600 would be my target whenever we hit this, but next, but yeah, and that's going to be, dude, all-time highs. Like, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
It's
It's gonna
difficult.
happen.
So why are we sharing this? We're not a technical analysis channel, and you're seeing my garbage that I'm my speculative garbage. The reason is if you look at this, by and large, what we're seeing is when ETH ranges, NFTs have the ability to bounce. When ETH moons, NFTs get absolutely smashed. And I'm looking at this. Nick asked it as well. I don't know how you guys feel, and I'm curious to hear what you think. Someone says that's a random line going up. Rodney, you're completely correct.
Random lines can make you a lot of money though,
and
aka Botto, which is about to break $1.90. So if you're not listening to me in this space, you're just not going to make it. Tungsten Cubes hit a 62 soul floor. I recommend that you bought it at 8. Okay, I invest in hard assets. I invest in top tier generative AI projects
and random lines on the screen.
I don't lose. I only win. Name one loss I've taken in the past 6 months. Name one. You can't.
You
just
said one. You said doodles.
No, that was not a loss. I was selling to buy Botto. Every sell that I made in the last 6 months was to buy Botto. That's it. I was planning ahead before it was even created. Anyways, yeah, I mean, here's the tough thing. If you look at your chart, right, it's like we really need to get above like that October 19th level for me to be confident that we're, out of the woods. I didn't sell.
Someone mentioned Goop Troop. Got him.
Dude, the audience is just like naming all your losses.
I sold Goop Troop to buy Botto.
Pickles, he made money. Pickles is a profit maker for
Pickles. I made a guap off of, I think, 12 Ethereum.
Nice.
Hobos
made money.
Hobos.
Oh, hobos.
Yeah, made a little money on those.
They actually know your bags, dude.
They know a lot about me.
This is phenomenal.
I was a hobo maxi.
That's
for
the type
a
of accountability.
Made money on bonsais. Up on bonsais.
Wow, everyone's checking you.
Keep naming them.
Dude, we can make a spreadsheet based on our audience. Like, this is a good one.
I'm the best there is. But yeah, I would love to see on your chart right here. I'd love to see follow through on like getting past
NFT
that.
Worlds.
NFT Worlds is a bag, that's for sure, and I haven't sold them. Whelps actually, funny enough, Whelps turned to a straight bag, but then they airdropped a clone of the project onto Matic, and for some reason the floor was like back at mint, so like I sold out for a break even.
We saw that the other day or yesterday. I saw one of the floors go up when there was a similar project, just bricks. When the Solana bricks launched, the ETH bricks ended up mooning. So there's an interesting thing when duplicate projects on other chains end up launching. It's not actually it's not a supply. The supply is still limited enough that's not having an impact. It's boosting the overall ecosystem, which is pretty incredible to see. And people go and look and they say, hey, I want to buy the original version of this brick, and they go to ETH to go buy that to buy that. What tool was that again? What NFT were we discussing? Which yields head? NFT
Head
advisor
DAO.
deck. Head DAO. Yeah, yeah. That one receiving head in exchange for buying an NFT is always great. Head token, I think, has a lot of potential, but I'm more interested in Botto, like Nick is, and I'm happy with my small bag that I have, which is, you know, 0.5 ETH. So overall, this is pretty solid. So what are your conclusions? How are you all? So let's say that we know that ETH is. Let's say it ranges for another few days.
Ranging is great. Like I would be like nimble in this kind of scenario. And I'd be investing in good projects that I think um have more, like me personally, I don't know if I'm necessarily in these conditions going to buy an ape or a punk. I do think that there's going to be an ape or a punk rally. But if you look back at like the beginning of this bull market, like punks didn't move in the beginning. It was really all these small projects that moved, you know, Bored Ape Yacht Club, Gutter Cats, those kind of cool cats, those kind of projects kind of like moved first, and then punks went on that insane run from 20 ETH all the way up to 140 ETH, which was absolutely bonkers. So like me personally, I think like in these market conditions, if you're investing in like really good projects, then you can kind of buy and not worry about the long term. If you're kind of minting or investing in projects you feel like ish about, I would just stay really nimble in these conditions. Like try to free roll. Like if you mint 6 and at 2x's, sell 3, get break even, then the pressure's off. But like I'm not like going to be like significantly increasing my bag. I also didn't sell a ton on the way down. So like I have a significant exposure to NFTs too, but I'm not looking to really add it. But I am keeping my eye out for those exciting projects like Bape, whatever, Hape Beast. Hape Beast. I'm definitely going to invest in that. Botto, I'm pretty much retired off of that play. So I'm just looking for the strong plays right now.
A couple of things I want to comment on real quick. Casper had said that bricks pump because Gary V posted an emoji brick on Twitter. That's hilarious. We've seen that happen before. And the other thing that we saw, which is Joel misquoting me. Look, what I'm talking about is receiving head token for NFTs. And I don't want that to be confused with anything else inappropriate. This is a family friendly sort of place around here. And so that's what we want to keep it focused on.
We have a Botto question here. Is it worth having both Botto and Botto-ETH? Could impermanent loss really hurt anyone with just Botto-ETH?
I'm concerned about the impermanent loss. That said, if
but
Botto keeps mooning and you're
but impermanent loss, if Botto moons, it's not as bad as if like Botto crashes and ETH goes up.
Yeah, and because you're yielding, you're staking your LP position and earning Botto. I think I've earned a few hundred. You've earned a few thousand, but I think that which is a nice, dude. You're making a nice income with Botto, and how we came across it was airdropped to us. So we ended up receiving. I got one. I got like 1 ETH worth for apes. I initially sold it and then bought back in, which was stupid. And
the reason why like I personally got excited about Botto was I did the same thing. Like Nick and I found out about this free airdrop. We both just immediately sold it. But then there was like something about the project that caught my eye. So then I read the white paper, and the white paper was really fascinating. Essentially, the creator of the algorithm works at Google and like their arts and culture program. I think he's very well respected in the AI art space. He created the initial algorithm, and then like, you know, a team did all the smart contract and the rest of the jazz. But the concept of the project is really interesting, which is that the community influences how the algorithm changes over time. Each week, it creates 50 fragments, pieces of art. The community can vote on which ones they like. Those votes then influence what the algorithm is going to create in its next batch the next week. The number one voted piece is then taken to super rare and is auctioned off on super rare. But then it gets even more interesting. 100% of the proceeds from the auctions and the secondary sales are used to buy Botto, and then they burn that Botto. So there's a deflationary aspect in there as well. And I also think it's just one of those things, like 52 is very low supply. There's a potential for this project to be one of those really rich digital art collectors, like must have, like, oh, you got to have now I'm speculating here. Okay. This is not like for sure, but there's been a lot of whales buying into it today. And the whales kind of accelerate whale interest in a sense. When whales start buying and they're talking about it and they're liking it, Beanie tweeted about this like less than an hour ago. Definitely generated a lot of interest off of that. But I just think it's a cool, exciting, unique project. And 30% of Botto is locked in their treasury. They haven't said anything like that, but I wouldn't assume that they're just going to make 52 pieces and just, that's it. Like, what I think is very likely to happen is that the community and the team is going to create like new lineages of art out of the project over time, potentially. So that's how we kind of fell upon it. I read the white paper on the website, became super bullish on it, accumulated a big position in like the 70s and the 80s. And then Luke, can you explain how Ethereum mooning is worse than Botto mooning for implied and permanent loss? My understanding is that like if either one of them stays fixed and the other one goes up, it's going to be like, it's going to work out the same no matter which one of them goes up. But the thing with impermanent losses is that impermanent loss hurts you more when it's going down. Impermanent loss on the way up, it's just reducing your gains on the way up. So you're not losing money if it goes up. You're just making less money than if you were just holding the token itself. But that is why there is high rewards for LPing, because that's what offsets the risk and encourages people to provide liquidity. But like the worst case scenario would be if Botto goes to 10 cents and Ethereum goes to 9K, then you're like down 90% or something like that.
If you just LP'd and didn't stake, your risk is far greater than LPing and receiving the rewards, which is the most important thing right now. And ideally, you're able to get back to 100%, but that requires a long-term commitment, basically. But if additionally, if Botto continues to increase and you're receiving those, then you can always end up getting access to, like, you can offset that loss. So, anyways, I think it's an interesting thing. I was down to put 0.5 ETH into the play, and I'm excited that I did. Should we wrap up here? I mean, I feel like we've
just one more thing, because like some of the audience members were calling out, questions about market conditions. Obviously, it's really, really hard to to predict those things. But speaking of watching wallets, like, so I'll do this with Ninja Alerts. So the company that's sponsoring us, shout out to Ninja Alerts. But I watch Vincent Van Dough, right? And Gillies was actually talking about this too. So this is all in the last day. This is like in the last 24 hours. If we go 72 hours, Vincent Van Dough is just on an absolute tear of just buying the shit out of rare Pepes. Like, and I know I talk about this project a lot, but like this is what Vincent Van Dough is buying right now. He's buying rare Pepes on the secondary market. If you look at the wallet, he's also minting new stuff. So he's got a lot of activity. He deploys a lot of capital, but like the fact that in the past 2 days, the guy is smash buying this many rare Pepes, basically anything that's like sub 333 supply. You look at this. He's putting offers out there at 1 ETH. He's deploying 4 ETH on this one. It's just pretty wild to see. So I'm not, you're not seeing him buy new projects, but these historical projects that are relevant, Vincent Van Dough's just smash buying. So whatever indicator you want to kind of bring from that, I do think it's interesting activity.
He has a fund.
Yeah.
So
I think it's interesting activity.
They're probably they're saying, okay, great, rare Pepe is a nice one to add right now in this portfolio. So I think it's interesting. One thing to add, I just wanted to comment on, someone said that it's guaranteed whitelist in all projects in our Discord. That's definitely not the case. Magic trash bag. But we do occasionally get people into whitelist. We hope to get to a place where we can guarantee you that you get on whitelist, but probably not happening anytime soon.
That'd be pretty good. What do you say? You guys want to wrap up then?
Let's do it.
Any closing thoughts?
Stay nimble out there.
Stay nimble for sure.
Join our Discord.
Oh,
go ahead.
Well, join our Discord, man. It's the nifty.com/Discord. Like and subscribe to the YouTube. Come on. Like and subscribe to the YouTube. You know you want to. I know you want to do it. You're going to get to see Nick dance. You're going to see us lose money live on air. We want you to be a part of the Nifty Alpha community. We want to bring these whitelist opportunities to you. Right now in our Discord, there is a guaranteed whitelist option for you to get on the whitelist for Ninja Alerts, which is our first sponsor, our only sponsor thus far. That's a tool so you can track a wallet like a Vincent Van Doe's. So we're excited to use that tool, ourselves, and you can do it too. So get in the Discord.
Technically, it's the first Nifty Alpha sponsor, but I do have other sponsors, including Foundation, Manifold, and a couple of other people.
Yeah,
in
fuck
case you're
you.
wondering. But and Showtime. So those and Async Art. So if
I'm
you're
sponsored by Botto.
Thank you to everybody for joining. This was the Nifty Alpha. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll actually be back tomorrow because we have a problem with our lives. Like yeah. Eventually, we're hoping that this yields great results.
Maybe.
Over and out.